This Sunday is the Western Sydney HALF IRONMAN, the race rated #1 in the world for overall satisfaction, and I'm excited. Hey, how's it going? I'm Will from Iron Wheel Multisport Australia, your place to find tips, tricks and experience in triathlon, multisport and endurance events and training. Next week will be the biggest race I have ever done in my life. The Western Sydney HALF IRONMAN, about 1 hour west of Sydney. The event is being held at the Penrith Regatta Centre, which is a really beautiful location. So much so that in 2017, it was rated #1 in overall satisfaction for the HALF IRONMAN distance in the Athlete's Choice Awards. For the swim, you start in the Regatta Centre itself. It's a 1.9 kilometre swim, swimming east and then west along the water. The cutoff time for this swim is 1 hour and 10 minutes from your starting time. You exit the swim at the boat ramp on the western side. This takes you through to the transition zone. From here, you cycle out to Castlereagh Road and take the road up north, which takes you pretty close to Richmond. Along this cycle, you'll have awesome views of the Blue Mountains. But don't let that distract you from the ride itself. Remember to keep safe. And for the cycle route, you'll go there and back, and there and back again. It's a 2-loop course. This adds up to about 90 kilometers. The cutoff time for the cycle is 5 hours from your starting time. For the run, you'll head a bit south, similar to the course which the bike course was on for the Nepean Triathlon, but in a slightly different way in that you'll go a little bit further south down to the actual Nepean River. Again, taking in some breathtaking views. This is a full half marathon, and the cutoff time for the run is 8 hours from your starting time. And finally, at the end of the run, you'll take the HALF IRONMAN red carpet for the grandstand finish in front of the Regatta Centre. This is also a World Championships qualifier event, so there are a total of 35 spots available for the World Championships. Looking at the history of how these spots are distributed, in my gender age group, there's probably going to be about 3 spots available. So to even stand a chance, I'm probably going to have to finish in the top 10 out of about, I think it's 95 competitors in my age group. I'm probably not going to get that, but you know, it's a good aim. Never say never. I'm just so looking forward to this. One great thing about this event is there are a few different ways that you can actually check in for the event. So if you're based in and around Sydney City itself, you can check in on the Friday and even check your bike in on the Friday and have it delivered to the Regatta Centre, ready for you to cycle on it on Sunday. This check-in happens at the Maritime Museum next to Darling Harbour. Unfortunately, I can't take advantage of this Friday check-in since I work close to Olympic Park, which is not particularly close to the city. So the option that I'm going to choose is to check in on the Sunday morning itself at the Penrith Regatta Centre. Although if you want, you can also check in on the Saturday at the Penrith Regatta Centre. They also have some great options to get there on the day of the race. So if you're based in and around Sydney City, or that's where you can more easily get to, there is actually a shuttle bus that leaves from the city at about 3:30 AM that will take you to the Penrith Regatta Centre. Although for me, I would prefer to get just a little bit more sleep and just drive there myself. And if the Nepean Triathlon a few weeks ago was anything to go by, there are plenty of parking spots, and if you get there early, then you'll be right at the front. There'll be no problems at all. How has my preparation been going for this event? Well, so far, pretty damn good. I've been putting in loads of kilometers in all 3 disciplines, finding myself getting faster. I've also been trying to cut my weight, so I've been cutting down from, I was about 72 kilos, now I'm down to about 66 kilos, and every kilogram you lose makes you race just that little bit faster. There is one main thing that concerns me, and that is the aid stations, especially on the bike leg of the course. Now, because I've never done a half Ironman or Ironman length event before, I've never done the continuous movement aid stations. So the way they work, the aid stations in the cycle are laid out in this manner. It is discard, toilet, water, electrolyte, food, electrolyte, water, toilet, and then discard. So the discard sections are where you get rid of any bottles or whatever other things you have on you that you don't want to be bringing with you. Obviously the toilet section is where you can jump off and go to the toilet. The water section and also the electrolyte section is where they hand out bottles to you while you're cycling for you to try and reach out and grab, filled with water and or electrolyte. And similarly in the food section, they will hand out food which, while you're cycling, you need to go past, grab it, and keep going. And I've never done this before, so I'm probably gonna stuff it up on the first aid station, but hopefully by the second aid station I should have it down. Apparently one top tip for these sections is to slow down. You don't have to go crazy fast through these sections. It's better for you if you slow down, better for them, for the volunteers, if you slow down so that you can actually grab the food, grab the drink, without dislocating the volunteer's arm, knocking it out of their hands, just generally causing destruction and chaos. Another tip I've been told is when you're reaching out for something, you grab it and then bring your arm back along beside you so that you reduce the amount of actual impact on what you're grabbing. And for anyone who does stuff up the first aid station, there are 4 total along the bike course. So if you do screw up the first one, you've got 3 more attempts. Now another thing to watch out for, especially on the longer rides, is the sun. You'll be in the sun for a significant amount of time, so if you want to put sunscreen on while you're riding, or just before you start riding, or before the event itself, that's a good idea. Last week when I did my 160-kilometer ride, I managed to miss just a tiny little section on my back, and now I've got this lovely bright red crescent-shaped moon on my back. A lovely, lovely red mark that I don't want to get again. So I'm probably going to make sure that I put my sunscreen on before the event starts, so that I don't have to worry about it too much during the event. But I will also keep some sunscreen on the bike with me so that if I get to some flatter sections, I may be able to top up. And what are my expected times? So for the swim, I'm looking at around 40 to 45 minutes. I'm not a crazy fast swimmer, so really I just want to survive and get out of there. The bike is a 90-kilometer course, so if I average around 30 kilometers an hour, thereabouts, I want to have the bike course finished in under 3 hours. The run course looks fairly flat, so I'm looking at, for a half marathon, about 2 hours or less, and no walking. So I have already started to taper for this event over this last week. And this taper is going to continue and become even more over this next week as I approach the actual race itself. My swims are all going to be about 1 to maybe 2K at the most. My cycling is going to be nothing over 30 kilometers, and my runs are all going to be under 8Ks. And I get to sleep in. I've been looking forward to that so much. I'm scared, but I'm also really excited. This is going to be an awesome event. There's going to be so many volunteers and awesome athletes, and just the whole vibe of the place is going to be amazing. And I'm going to try and go pretty full on. Like, I'm not going to hold back too much. I don't want to have to think in the future, what if? Though also I do need to hold back just a little bit, because 1 week after the Half Ironman I do actually have the L'Etape, which is a 170-kilometer ride through the snowy mountains in Australia run by the Tour de France group. But that's a whole week after the Half Ironman. I've got plenty of time to rest and recover. Why did I book those 2 events so close to each other? Where can you find information about this race? If you just Google the Western Sydney Half Ironman, you'll find all the information there. Got athlete lists, time schedules, everything you need to find out information about the race. Will you be participating in the Western Sydney Half Ironman? Or do you have a Half Ironman or other race coming up? Leave a comment in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching. If you can hit that like and subscribe button, that would be amazing. And I will see you in the next one. Cheerio.